On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And I'm coming to you live from Chicago, baby.
You are just a world traveler lately.
Oh, she's on the go.
She is on the go. She has been where? You have been everywhere.
I really have. I feel like I've been bouncing around a lot lately. This is actually the first time that I've really flown anywhere in such a long time just because of COVID and everything. And I was really nervous because we all know I'm kind of insane when it comes to being safe. But my family was actually coming out here for the weekend. So my dad was like, come on, came out here and have been here since. I was actually supposed to be coming to you from New York today, but that didn't happen.
And why not?
Because I didn't want to. So the whole thing was I came out here with my family. They left on Monday morning, and then I was just going to fly to New York because I was like, well, I'll already be in Chicago. I can go see all my friends in New York. Fully made plans with everyone there. Didn't book a hotel because I normally don't. I'm like a last minute hotel person.
Mm-hmm.
I use the Hotel Tonight app.
Yeah.
I use that all the time, and I used to travel for work all the time. So I just don't have any fear around that. But also, a lot of the hotel rooms were sold out randomly midweek. So I would have had to move multiple hotel rooms in New York. The hotels were kind of gross, the ones that were even available for the week. And I just didn't feel like doing it. And so I looked on the Hotel Tonight app here in Chicago, and I was like, what if I just stay in Chicago? I was able to stay at the Viceroy, and I was able to stay here for the duration of the week. So now I'm flying home tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, I kind of just went with it. I went with the vibe. I was feeling very calm here. The weather was super nice in Chicago this week. It's a little gloomy today, but I've been having so much fun that I'm like, why leave?
Eat, pray, love.
Oh, yes, baby. I am eating. I am praying. I guess I'm loving Chicago.
Yes. You got a tattoo yesterday. You've been eating good food. You've been shopping.
Yes. I mean, that's the only reason I want to go places is so that I can eat and shop.
Yes.
But I have been having to work too, so I've been in the hotel a lot. But it's always exciting when you get to Postmate from different restaurants than the ones you're used to.
Yeah. I also feel like working in a hotel room is so much different than like working at home. Because at home, I just want to I'm like, I could work, but I also need to clean out the freezer. So I'm going to do that. Like in a hotel room, you have no distractions.
No distractions. So we're chilling, we're vibing, we're loving it.
Do you want to tell them how you got to the airport to get to Chicago?
Oh, I think someone's looking for a little pat on the back. And a pat on the back we will give her. Miss Madison Reyes, my personal chauffeur, got me to the airport. So my dad, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. My dad put me on the most insane flight ever. It was leaving LAX at like 4:45 in the morning. I get super anxious about missing things when I have something to do the next day. So I have a hard time sleeping. And I was talking to Madison. She's like, oh, hey. She's like, well, I'll be up at 3 o'clock if you want me to just take you to the airport. And I was like, sure.
I would truly rather take somebody to the airport at 3 a.m. than at 9 a.m.
LAX, 100% with traffic and everything, especially. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Terrible.
Terrible.
I was at your house, had a key to your house, so I walked into your bedroom, whispered in your ear, good morning, girly.
She really did. I was like out. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm like, you have a key. You need to just come into my house. I was like, if the key doesn't work for whatever reason, you need to slam your head through my bedroom window.
You did. I was like, I'm gonna take one of your backyard chairs and just fucking broken.
Break in. I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to see that on the cameras. Imagine. I did get a few notifications because Madison always like goes over and lets the dogs out at the house, checks my mail for me and brings in the packages and stuff, which is so nice. I have all these alerts on my phone of Madison like on my porch, like looking around for packages. I always call her when my camera goes off and I'm like, I'm gonna post this on next door.
I'm calling the police.
The cops are on their way.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, when you get home, I'm going to be on my way to Yosemite.
Madison's going to a bachelorette.
Woo!
Ooh.
Gonna party.
Remember your bachelorette?
I do.
Miss Vegas.
The Golden Nugget. God.
Wild time.
Wild. I was wasted. We saw Magic Mike, my sister's extensions. She had like one of those halo
oh my God,
things.
Yes.
And they fell around her neck at one point.
She was wearing it like a necklace.
She was partying.
Oh, she was raging. That
Oh
was fun.
my God.
Vegas is always just something. You never come back from Vegas like, oh, what a relaxing little weekend I had, or what a relaxing few days. You always come back and you're like, I need to drink a lot of green juice and not talk to anyone for 2 days.
I know on my 21st birthday, I've told you this before, I ate a sandwich out of a trash can because I was just like hungry.
Whose sandwich was it?
It was in our hotel room, so it was somebody's.
Somebody.
But I found it and was like, I'm eating this. Like 4 a.m.
Oh my God. Haven't you heard of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Oh, please. Not anymore with social media.
Not with those TikToking and reels you're all doing now.
Oh, please. What about the good old days, huh?
Yeah, where nobody could tell anyone anything. I loved it.
Exactly. Can I tell you about something that made me so happy in our inbox?
Tell me.
Our Geoffs, Sarah, wrote to us and she said, hello, my favorite people. Your recent episode, Madison did a segment on cemetery symbols and it got me curious to see if I could go find them in person. I'm from Florida and we have a few old cemeteries here, but one most notable that has residents from the 1800s to about mid-1900s. I figured I'd find some more of what she mentioned in the episode there. I ran it by my sisters as they're always down for some creepy historic stuff. We made a day of it and found some interesting symbols. I've attached some pictures from the cemetery and some are zoomed in because in most spots there were soft and I wasn't about to be someone's roomie. Oh, I get it.
Like standing?
Yes, they were soft. She said, oh my God. We found a lot of broken columns, sad, but then found out that most of the people that were buried there came over from Ireland or England and ended up victims of yellow fever.
Oh.
Yeah. Another symbol we found was a tree, and it said that the amount of branches that are cut down is how many family members are buried there. Several there, but the one pictured has 2 stumps, so that would mean 2 people are buried. Last symbol I found interesting was the cloth draping over the headstone. This is referred to as the person passing from this world to the next. I hope y'all found this as fascinating as I did, and I can't wait for the next episode. But it made me so happy that someone did it.
That is so cool. I feel like I actually saw a few messages come in from people like, oh, I'm going to go to the cemetery and I want to look, or there's a cemetery down the street from my house. I have to say, love that. Also, what she mentioned in the email, I love a family plot. I think those are so cool.
I do too.
Love.
I agree.
We are for a family plot.
Yes. Oh, also, I stumbled across this article when I was researching today's episode and it caught my eye. It's from Audi.com and the title of it said World War II veteran receives license to be buried in a chewing gum coffin.
A chewing gum coffin, you say?
Yeah, and so my head automatically went to like, oh, is it made out of chewing gum? Like a gum wall, you know? Like, is it a coffin?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out it wasn't, but I'm going to quote a couple things from here. Says, as far as a veteran's last wishes go, this is a pretty heartwarming one. Have you ever liked something a lot, like really absurdly much? Maybe even so much that you'd want to take the thing to your grave? Well, this World War II veteran who recently was given the right to be buried in a chewing gum package certainly has. All right, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's mostly true. Sati Economy, a 94-year-old vet from Roanoke, Virginia, has been granted license by the Mars Wrigley Corporation to be buried in a casket resembling the wrapping of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit chewing gum.
Oh my God.
Economy's love story with the bubblegum began decades ago back at the front. During World War II, chewing gum was included in U.S. soldiers' rations. Because of wartime rationing, Wrigley could not make enough gum for everyone. Rather than compromise, the company took Wrigley's Spearmint Double Mint and Juicy Fruit off the civilian market and dedicated the entire output of these brands to the U.S. Armed Forces. The gum actually served a valuable purpose in the fighting men's rations, says War History Online. First, chewing gum releases saliva, which helped keep the soldiers' mouths clean when brushing their teeth was probably less of a priority than fighting the war. Second, gum helped calm the soldiers' nerves. Cigarettes were handed out to them for the same reason, but chewing on some gum was, of course, a more health-conscious option. Yeah, he loved Wrigley's gum and was buried in a coffin that resembled the packaging.
That is dedication, baby.
Dedication, but sweet. Like, that was probably something while he was, in battle that kept him going.
Yeah.
Something so simple.
Chew on that.
Chew on that, you fucking bitches that come for us.
I don't think we have any updates on our eHarmony gal, but that episode is not up yet, so we'll see.
Oh my God, I know we're just going to get some shit. We're going to be signed up for like dildobangbusters.com or something.
Don't give them ideas. And I'm already subscribed.
Oh no.
But you would never know thanks to ExpressVPN.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What are you going to do? Well, I do have some assholes for us.
Let's do it. Let me see that asshole, Spencer.
Our first asshole. It says, am I the asshole if I demanded my name being taken off my grandfather's obituary? Hear me out. I, 29-year-old female, have tried to have a relationship with my dad and his family. I only met my father once, but it was apparent how a step-granddaughter had his attention. I never grew close to anyone since my dad said we were doomed from the start. His exact words.
Oh.
Him and his family have always chosen the woman he was with, and his current wife is yuck. She's jealous of me, but I don't know why. She has a big family like I've always wanted, great parents, loving kids. For example, for my 20th birthday, without talking to me, she scheduled a hair appointment with her hairdresser for me to donate my hair I was working on growing. It was 12 inches past my shoulders, but I was talked into it. I found out later she did it on purpose so that my hair wasn't longer than hers. Anyway, I was searching where my dad may be and saw an obituary of his father. I see my name under my dad's and his wife's kids. They didn't even include my son. I was never told he died. Even though I never met the man, it royally peeved me to no end to be named as a grandchild when my father and his family disowned me from a young age. I don't know what I should do or how to go about it, but I've been really thinking about calling them to have my name taken off since I'm not seen as family. Is it petty? Maybe, but my feelings were never taken into account. All they've done is hurt me and separate me from my 9 siblings. Am I the asshole for even thinking about it? I've told some friends and half are with me, the other half are against it and said to leave it alone. Am I the asshole?
I mean, because she's doing it like pretty privately, like I'm just gonna call them and ask them. I don't think she's being very petty, but I also think it's like, whatever, just let it go. I don't think she's an asshole though.
I don't think she's an asshole. I think like if they would have asked her like, hey, we're making the obituary obituary. We're putting you in it. Is there anything you want to say or something? Then I think she would have had every right to be like, no. But it's like the obituary's already out. What are you going to do?
Yeah, just let it go.
At that point, I feel like you're just, don't even give in to them. Don't even let them know anything. Okay, now this one says, am I the asshole for not telling a homeless man that his last surviving relative has died?
Oh my God.
I work for an apartment complex full time. I work out of our off-site promotional center near a busy street in the city, and because I am located in a larger urban area, have homeless people come in looking for donations all the time. Today I had a disabled homeless, who was possibly a little drunk and delirious man, come in asking for some food and water. I gave him a bottle of water, and he saw that I was working on my computer, so he asked if I could Google a variety of addresses for errands he wanted to take care of. After I found and wrote down the addresses for a few things, he asked if I could look up his nearby aunt's phone number so he could get in contact with her. I typed in her name and city, and the only results were obituaries where his name was listed as a surviving relative. I didn't want to make him upset, more upset than he already was in the moment, so I just told him I couldn't find anything. Am I the asshole for not informing him of the death? I definitely don't think he was an asshole in any way. He said his last contact with her was 10 years ago, and the obituary indicated that she had died 2 years ago. He mentioned that the rest of his family had already passed. In general, I really didn't think I was the kind of person who should inform somebody of such news. Am I the asshole?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't think she's an asshole. I just don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. What would you do?
I mean, if it's your last surviving relative, I don't know. It's hard to say. So people did vote her or him the asshole.
Because maybe there's some inheritance or something. Like maybe there's some like things that can help him.
Yeah, I think people's main thing was like, wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah, gosh.
They said people were like, you shouldn't have lied to him. Someone else said, nah, I'd want to know. Wouldn't you? Funerals, a chance to say goodbye and grieve, possible inheritance, many reasons to share that info. But again, this was 2 years ago, so it's not like I'm sure the service was all said and done.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be put in that position.
No. Especially because if they're going to go Google, what if he goes and has someone else Google her or something and they find out and then he's like, why did the first lady tell me? I don't know.
I know. But what if he's not in the right headspace? I don't know.
I mean, that's a thing too.
I would not want to be in her position.
No. I feel like maybe we'll disagree with being the asshole and just say no one's an asshole here.
Yeah, no one's an asshole.
You have to do what your gut tells you to do. And honestly,
life is the asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, asshole. Let's take a little break. We'll be right back.
Have you guys ever had an acne breakout that just hit at the worst possible time? I can remember a few times, but one that sticks out in my mind was on my wedding day. I tried so hard to have clear skin for that big day, and that morning I woke up with a zit, capital Z-I-T, like in the middle of my nose. It was terrible. I was pissed off. This was almost 5 years ago, and I really wish I had known about apostrophe because I probably wouldn't have been in that position. So we are so excited to partner with Apostrophe, the sponsor of this episode.
Yes, I feel like I have always gotten a breakout at the worst possible time, especially before like traveling or going somewhere. The last thing you want to deal with is a big old zit on your face.
Yes.
Apostrophe is a prescription skincare company that offers science-backed oral and topical medications that are clinically proven to help clear acne.
Apostrophe connects you with a board-certified dermatologist who will create a personalized treatment plan that is perfectly tailored to your unique skin. Simply fill out Apostrophe's online quiz about your skin goals and medical history, then snap a few selfies and your dermatologist will create your customized treatment plan.
Apostrophe treats all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, even chest-knee, back-knee, and butt-knee. They treat breakouts from head to toe.
We both ended up getting the cutest little packages prescribed just for us. We both kind of had the same skin goals, acne, fine lines. The whole process was super easy, and it was really, really comforting knowing that a real dermatologist was tailoring this for us to our specific needs.
Yes, we both got an amazing product to help with fine lines and the sunscreen, which we tell you all the time. It's good stuff. Never go a day without it.
Never.
And can I just say, not having to go to the pharmacy and wait in line is amazing. Such a bonus. We are just here trying to make you guys more beautiful and your life a little easier.
We have a special deal for our audience. Save $15 off your visit with an apostrophe provider at apostrophe.com/obit when you use our code OBIT.
This code is only available to our listeners. That's right, a Geoff exclusive. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/obit and click begin visit. Then use our code OBIT at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5.
Oh, that's apostrophe.com/obit and use that code OBIT to get your dermatologist crafted treatment plan for $5. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring the podcast. And we're back. Spencer, do you got a little side bitch for me, babe?
I certainly do. I actually have the obituary this week for Mrs. Zelda Fitzgerald.
Oh, brother, let's hear it.
So for those of you who don't know, this is the wife of F. Scott Fitzgerald, who wrote The Great Gatsby, amongst many others, which you'll hear some of it in the obituary. But she was like OG flapper gal in the 1920s. We love her. She was a writer herself and just sadly passed away pretty young. Mrs. Zelda Sayre Fitzgerald, widow of the author F. Scott Fitzgerald, died early today as a result of a fire which engulfed the central building of the Highland Hospital in Asheville, North Carolina.
I didn't know that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
A native of Montgomery, Mrs. Fitzgerald was the author of several novels, including Save Me the Waltz. Her husband, one of the outstanding American novelists of this century, wrote The Great Gatsby, This Side of Paradise, The Beautiful and Damned, and Tender is the Night. I haven't read Tender is the Night, but I want to. She is survived by a daughter, Mrs. Scotty Fitzgerald Lanahan, New York City, her mother, Mrs. A.D. Sayre, Montgomery, and three sisters, Mrs. M.W. Brinson, Montgomery, Mrs. Newman Smith, Washington, D.C., and Mrs. John Palmer of Larchmont, New York. Mrs. Fitzgerald had been ill for some years, but went to the hospital about a month ago from the home of her 85-year-old mother in Montgomery, Alabama. Her daughter, Mrs. Lanahan, who lives in New York, said interment would be in Rockville, Maryland, where the author is buried and where his family originates. Mrs. Fitzgerald was 48 and a writer in her own right. She wrote one novel, Save Me the Waltz, and many short stories for such magazines as the Saturday Evening Post and the American Mercury. She collaborated with her husband on some of his books. The Fitzgeralds were married in 1919. Mrs. Fitzgerald's father was Judge Anthony Sayre of the Alabama Supreme Court. Besides her mother and daughter, she is survived by three sisters.
Wow.
The more you know. You get a little history lesson in there.
I was going to say it's an important history, an important figure in history that we should absolutely know about and hear their obituary. I love it.
Love it. You're up first this week. What had you spinning in your coffin?
Oh my God. Well, I wanted to talk about Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I feel like we have mentioned a few Viking execution methods. The Blood Eagle. Hello, people.
Hello.
But I realized we never did a coffin spinner really about them as a people or their funerals. Before we fully dive into their funeral rituals and how their funerals go, I wanted to get like a good feel for what the majority of Vikings believed as far as death and the afterlife, and just also who they were, like I said, as people. You know, you see in movies and stuff, these like big warriors, and they seem pretty brutal. And I mean, everything I've read, it seems pretty fucking brutal.
Well, talk about the History Channel constantly. I feel like every time you go on the History Channels on TV, it's always playing something something about Vikings, and it always is kind of brutal and crazy.
I really was trying to find stuff that like wasn't straight up brutal. So, bitch, I was on National Geographic's kids website, like looking.
You're like, break it down for me.
Yeah. I was like, please, this is the only way I'm gonna get it. So I was on Nat Geo Kids. Even there.
You're like, I read an edition of Highlights magazine, and after I found all the animals in the trees, I was able to find this article.
Oh my God, truly. That's how I need it broken down for me. But they talked about them being, you know, expert boat builders and sailors, and that they believed in certain gods like Thor, the god of thunder, and Loki, who's a mischievous little shapeshifter. I automatically thought about Marvel. And that they loved fish. I also found a few other things that weren't so brutal. And I know that the brutality probably wasn't the case for all Vikings, but I mean, as a whole, it kind of seemed like that. But there were some Vikings that were very peaceful and just stayed home raising animals. There were also some cool things like women could divorce, which I know that sounds crazy, especially in that time period. Women didn't have any rights, but women could divorce. And then I also read that words like husband and wife and cake and hell and anger and slaughter and skull all
Why is cake in there?
I don't know, but I love it. They all come from the Norse language that they spoke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so hey, we have some stuff to thank the Vikings for. Then I went on to historycollection.com and found 16 facts about the brutality of Viking life. I'm not going to read all of them. That's just
Oh my God. She goes.
Here I go on a long fucking journey. That was just the title, okay, people? I'm just going to talk about some of the craziest fucked up things, of course.
Of course.
Infanticide. It says, quote, the Vikings murdered so many infant girls, they induced an imbalance in the gender ratios. So they were killing girls. They also did something called teeth filing. Quote, recent archaeological discoveries have unearthed evidence of an immensely painful and bizarre cultural practice among Viking men, which was teeth filing. The modification of teeth appears to have been adopted around the 10th century, achieved by the filing of horizontal parallel lines in the front two teeth. I'll post pictures. It looks painful.
That gives me the chills, honestly. But at first, I'm like, just filing, because me and so many people I know, when we were like younger, it was a thing where people would take like a nail file.
No.
Yes, and just kind of smooth out like the bottom. Bitch, my doctor, I told you about this. I want to get a veneer on this one tooth because one of my canines, my dentist was like this super old guy, and he started drilling them down, like shaving it down. He's like, oh, it'll look better if they're all straight. And I was like, no. So no, I just have one like fangish canine tooth and one that's like kind of straighter on the bottom. It drives me nuts.
I had my canines shaved down a little bit too, and I regret it because
It's because you bit your doctor. That's why he said we're taking those fucking out of here.
Well, I told you with my doctor. I remember my dentist, Dr. French. I hated going to the dentist, and he would have to plug my nose because I would bite down on his fingers and not let up, that he'd have to plug my nose, so I had no other option.
That's why they filed those suckers down.
They said, we're getting rid of those.
Oh, we just want our canines back. We would not survive in the wild.
Oh my gosh. Well, it goes on to say, achieved by filing of horizontal parallel lines in the front two teeth, although some Vikings also modified their lateral incisors and canines and dyed them, often in red, to accentuate the carvings. The precise purpose of the excruciating procedure remains unknown.
Wow. Wow.
I know. They also had slavery, which was terrible. It says, quote, Viking society was divided into 3 primary classes of status: the nobleman, the freeman, and the thrall. The thrall was a slave within the Viking hierarchy, existing as property belonging to their master. The treatment of slaves naturally varied between their masters, but general conditions were uniformly poor. In addition to being assigned the hardest of labors and facing daily sexual exploitation, many thralls were willingly or otherwise buried along with their deceased masters, which we will get into.
Oh my God.
Yeah, as a human sacrifice. One contemporary account of this ritual has survived from this explorer, and I'm going to get into he witnessed a whole Viking funeral that I will get into. Something else that they did that I thought was horrific was horse fighting. It's also called Hestevag, quote, traditionally taking place within a ringed area designed to prevent a stallion from retreating from the confrontation as would occur in nature. 2 stallions would be introduced to a mare in heat. The fertile mare would then be tethered in the center of the enclosure or sometimes outside, but still within scent range as a deliberate inducement for the horses fighting over her. If the horses chose not to fight for whatever reason, they would be compelled to do so via whipping or startling. It was recorded as lasting between 15 minutes and more than 3 hours in some cases, with rounds introduced to separate the constant animal violence, and typically concluded with a debilitating injury or death of 1 or 2 of the combatants.
Isn't that how you met your husband?
What the fuck? What do you mean?
They tied you up. They put you in the ring. And he had to fight for your honor. You fucking mare? What is that? Female horse?
You bitch. Human and animal sacrifice. It says the Vikings butchered animals and humans as part of sacrifices to their pagan gods and painting themselves and their buildings with the blood of their offerings. Really quickly, this one made me laugh because it reminded me of some like Victorian shit. Viking medicine. The Vikings were legendary for their brutality and fearlessness in battle, but were nonetheless human and thus suffered injuries of varying degrees of significance in combat.
What I picture when I picture Vikings, I feel like they're so fucking like, oh, they get stabbed in the leg by something and they can just like rip it out and they're just like keep walking. Like I feel like they're so badass.
I know, but it says here that after the fighting was over, these temporary treatments were replaced by Viking battlefield medicine. These practices were of dubious efficacy, typically carried out by women with little scientific foundation to many of the more commonly applied treatments. One such method of determining a warrior's prognosis was to feed the wounded soldier a broth made from leeks, onions, and herbs before smelling the wound. If the healer could detect the broth's odor emanating from within, the wound was fatal. Another method that they would do would be to taste the wound, and they could kind of...
Oh my God.
Figure it out. They also used a lot of magic. Okay, a lot of magic to help heal wounds and just make everything better. Now, their beliefs. It seems like the religion practiced by most Vikings was Norse paganism. I read that like their afterlife, they would go to different halls. Like that was like their heaven, and I guess like different stages of heaven or like hells. It was all different halls. And a Viking warrior, like a badass warrior, would go to Valhalla. I always see Valhalla a lot when researching Viking stuff. They always talk about Valhalla.
Every time that I'm reading about Vikings, I always see Valhalla.
On Nat Geo Kids, they talked all about Valhalla. Okay. I want to go. Sounds great.
I ain't your Valhalla back, girl.
Clever. Vikingsbrand.co explains it saying, there are many levels to the afterlife. Valhalla is reserved for the warriors slain on the battlefield and not for everybody. Where do all the other Norsemen and Norsewomen go after they die? Norse mythology teaches us that people are composed of 4 different parts. The first part is the physical appearance, known as hammer. The second one is phlygia, or phlygia, which is depicted as a totem of a known spirit. The third part is the person's character or personality, known as hugr. And then haminga is presented as the quality of the person's life. So there's 4 different things. It is believed that people who were evil or greedy during their lifetime may not pass on from this world, but remain here trapped in a body of Droger, the undead warrior creature. It was also believed that a person's hugr moves to another plane of existence. Meanwhile, their haminja remains here and is shared with the rest of the family throughout the years. They also believed in reincarnation, and they believed that like you're with your family in death, in reincarnation, all of it. So now we have a little background on our Viking friends. Let's take a quick break, Spencer, because I got to get into the funeral part, and it is good. We'll be right back.
Geoffs, as you know, I was in Chicago with my family this last week, and I was actually talking to my dad, and I thought I knew everything about him, all of his stories, but it turns out there was one story I didn't know. He actually knew the family of a story that I talked about last week on the show, about the 7-year-old girl on the plane.
No way.
Yes, I'll save it for another day. But it was eye-opening. I was like, God, how many other stories don't I know? So this Father's Day, I decided I'm going to get him Storyworth.
Do it. I got it for my dad, and I could not be happier. Storyworth is an online service that helps you and your dad or father figure connect through sharing stories and memories, and it preserves them for years to come.
Every week, Storyworth emails your dad or your dad figure a thought-provoking question of your choice from a vast pool of possible options. Each unique prompt asks questions you've never thought of, like what's one of your fondest childhood memories? Or for my dad, like what were some of your favorite memories from driving race cars?
He drove race cars?
Oh, did he?
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear about it. I have really enjoyed reading my dad's answers to those questions. I've discovered stories and memories that I've never heard about. I even learned that the first thing he noticed about my mom was her red lipstick.
Oh, sweet. After 1 year, Storyworth compiles all those questions and stories, including photos, into a beautiful keepsake book the whole family can share for generations. I just imagine going through these in the years to come feeling so happy that I did, and I feel like anyone who does this would have that same sentiment.
Totally. It's just one of those priceless gifts that I feel like keeps giving.
Give all the fathers in your life a meaningful gift you can both cherish for the years to come. Storyworth. Right now, for a limited time, you can save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/obit.
That's STORYWORTH.com/obit to save $10 on your first purchase. Storyworth.com/obit.
And we're back. Let's get into those Viking funerals, babe.
Alrighty. So when I think of a Viking funeral, I think about a huge ship, or what they called a longboat or longship. It's those ships that were used in battle, often having like a little dragon head on them or a snake on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. That's like what I picture when I think of Vikings.
Yeah. But now I think of like at carnivals or at like amusement parks, you know, those ships that go back and forth.
Love them. Such a thrill.
That's a Viking ship. That's a longboat, babe.
Oh my God. We got to go down to Knott's Berry Farm
and
figure it out.
Oh, it makes me sick though. Can't do it. I always pictured that like those long boats with a body inside with all of their important belongings being set out to sea, you know, all of them, and then them being pushed out onto the water and then it being lit on fire and the whole to-do. That actually happened very seldomly. And when you think about it, these ships were so crucial to their survival, obviously, and battle and fishing and whatnot. So no one's going to go burn those.
Oh, no.
Right? Some high-ranking Vikings were actually buried in their ships. but it seems that most of the time the Vikings were buried in ship-shaped graves. And it's important to note, too, that women or children typically just had a normal cremation and buried in a burial mound. Going back to VikingsBrand.co, they write, the Vikings who had a prominent position in society had the privilege of being buried on a ship, more precisely in their personal tomb boat, along with valuable grave goods. However, all the others mostly had only tombs made in the shape of a boat. These graves could be made of stone or edged with stone. And it's also important to remember when we talk about cremation, that image that you see in movies and stuff of like setting the body on fire and setting it out to sea, like the flame is not going to be hot enough or stay hot enough to actually cremate a body, which I think that's why it's illegal now to do a Viking funeral, because you literally can't cremate. Anyway, any Viking could have a Viking funeral unless you were a slave. But the more respected or higher ranking Vikings had the big to-do burials. Preparations for the funeral could take up to 2 weeks after one died. A lot of this including everyone getting fucking wasted and partying.
Love it.
And we'll get into their inheritance and what they spent like their different inheritance on, because it was wild. JoinCake.com writes, an ancient Norse funeral for free men and women were highly ritualistic and at times theatrical. Funeral rites began with preparing the body. The Vikings draped their dead in clean clothing and often adorned them with jewels. The next step in a Viking funeral was usually cremation on a funeral pyre. Then the deceased fellow Vikings would dig the grave and the funeral feast would take place. That article also goes on to explain their prayers to gods like Odin and Thor and Loki, and everyone would chant to make sure the deceased found their way to Valhalla, or, one of the halls that they were going to. At a Viking funeral, respected members of the community would have bid the deceased farewell and wish them an easy journey to the afterlife. Depending on the person's level in Viking society, only a few words would be spoken, or speeches might go on for hours. These words of commemoration and well wishes would take place during the ritualistic drinking of the funeral ale. There were also many songs being sang and human sacrifice, of course. This is when slaves would have to go with their master, even into the afterlife. I think they were called like thralls. Their thralls would have to go on with them. Okay, but quickly, I died reading this. So this is historically accurate, like this man. So, okay, remember last week we had a firsthand account of a Victorian mummy party?
Yes.
Well, now we have a firsthand account of a legitimate 10th century Viking funeral.
Oh my God.
Pretty shady, too. He was a traveler. He went to a Viking funeral and witnessed a ship burial. I won't read the whole thing, but I found a translated version. His name is Ahmad Ibn Fadlan. He writes, I have never seen more perfect physiques than theirs. They are like palm trees. They are fair and reddish and do not wear the gertog or the kaftan. The man wears a cloak with which he covers one half of his body, leaving one of his arms uncovered. Every one of them carries an axe, a sword, and a dagger, and is never without all that which he have mentioned. Each woman has on her breast a small disc made of either iron, silver, copper, or gold in relation to her husband's financial and social worth. Each disc has a ring to which a dagger is attached, also lying on her breast. Then he goes on to say, they are the filthiest of Allah's creatures. They do not clean themselves after excreting or urinating or wash themselves when in a state of ritual impurity. They do not wash their hands after food. Indeed, they are like asses that roam. They gather in one house in their 10s and 20s, sometimes more, sometimes less. Each of them has a couch on which he sits. They are accompanied by beautiful girls for trading. One man will have intercourse while his companion looks on. Sometimes a group of them come together to do do this, each in front of the other? Sometimes indeed the merchant will come in to buy a girl from one of them, and he will chance upon him having intercourse with her. He will not leave her alone until he has satisfied his urge. They cannot, of course, avoid washing their face and their hands each day, which they do with the filthiest and most polluted water imaginable. Every day, the slave girl arrives in the morning with a large basin containing water, which she hands to her owner. He washes his hands and his face and his hair in the water. Then he dips his comb in the water and brushes his hair, blows his nose, spits in the basin. There's no filthy impurity which he will not do in this water. When he no longer requires it, the girl takes the basin to the man beside him, and he goes through the same routine as his friend.
Ugh.
She continues to carry it from one man to the next until she has gone round everyone in the house. Everyone using the same shit.
God, that reminds me of this episode of Extreme Cheapskates on TLC where like the mom had like a bathtub and like everyone would take a bath in the same gross ass water. Disgusting, people.
So he says when a chief dies, the least they do is cremate him. And then he attended an actual funeral.
When was this?
In the 10th century. These are just like his writings. He talks about in the case of a poor man, they build a small boat, places him inside, and burns it. In the case of a rich man, they gather together his possessions and divide them into 3. 1/3 for his family, 1/3 to use for his funeral arrangements, and 1/3 with which they purchase alcohol, which they drink on the day when his slave girl kills herself and is cremated together with her master. They are addicted to alcohol, which they drink night and day. Sometimes one of them dies with the cup still in his hand.
God.
Crazy. Then it talks more in depth about the sacrifice, which is just fucked up. And
what would they do?
Oh, God. At the time of the evening prayer on Friday, they brought the girl to a thing that they had constructed, like a door frame. She placed her feet on the hands of the men and was raised above the door frame. She said something and they brought her down. Then they lifted her up a second time and she did what she had done the first time. They brought her down and then lifted her on a third time and she did what she did on the first 2 occasions. They next handed her a hen. She cut off its head and threw it away. They took the hen and threw it on board the ship. I quizzed the interpreter about her actions and he said, the first time they lifted her, she said, "Behold, I see my father and my mother." The second time she said, "Behold, I see all of my dead kindred seated." The third time she said, "Behold, I see my master seated in paradise. Paradise is beautiful. He is accompanied by his men and his male slaves. He summons me, so bring me to him." So they brought her to the ship and she removed 2 bracelets that she was wearing, handing them to the women called the Angel of Death, the one who was to kill her. She also removed 2 anklets that she was wearing, handing them to the 2 slave girls who had waited upon her. They were the daughters of the crone, known as the Angel of Death. Then they lifted her onto the ship, but did not bring her into the pavilion. The men came with their shields and sticks and handed her a cup of alcohol, over which she chanted and then drank. The interpreter said to me, "Thereby she bids her female companions farewell." She was handed another cup, which she took and chanted for a long time, while the crone urged her to drink it and enter the pavilion in which her master lay. I saw that she was befuddled and wanted to enter the pavilion, but she had put her head into the pavilion while her body remained outside of it. The crone grabbed hold of her head and dragged her into the pavilion, entering it at the same time. The men began to bang their shields with the sticks so that her screams could not be heard, and so terrify the other girls, who would not then seek to die with their masters. Then it talks about the other soldiers raping her.
Afterwards?
Before. It's just terrible.
Horrible.
And then it says the deceased next of kin approached and took hold of a piece of wood and set fire to it. He walked backwards with the back of his neck to the ship, his face to the people, with the lighted piece of wood in one hand and the other hand on his anus, being completely naked. He ignited the wood that had been set up under the ships after they had placed the girl whom they had killed beside her master. Then the people came forward with sticks and firewood. Each one carried a stick, and that's it. That's done.
Horrible.
Horrible. Like, I hear about Viking funerals funerals now. I'm like, I don't want to fucking have one.
Oh,
thank
no.
you.
Oh, my God. Crazy. The more you know.
The more you know about Vikings, man.
All of that from Nat Geo Kids.
Can you believe what the kids are reading?
Oh, my God. Stop teaching that in school. All right, we're going to take one more quick break, and then we'll get into what had me spinning in my coffin this week. We'll be right back.
Believe it or not, Geoffs, I am always looking to make sustainable swaps throughout my home. Yes, I know I want to be buried in a big glamorous coffin when I die instead of a mushroom coffin. But while I'm living, I strive to find alternatives to everyday products that don't use any harmful chemicals and hopefully don't involve chopping down any trees.
Yes, I am right there with you. And luckily, it seems like there are more and more alternatives every day that I love to use at home and can help keep our earth beautiful at the same time.
One thing that we use every single day, multiple times a day, is toilet paper. My new favorite sustainable swap is Reel paper. Reel makes a sustainable toilet paper that uses fast-growing bamboo and is always shipped in plastic-free packaging, even down to the tape on the box.
Oh my God, bamboo. Let me tell you about bamboo. This is actually really interesting when I started researching this company. And by the way, just so you know, it's REEL, Reel. But the great thing about bamboo is that it's a grass, and just like a lawn, it can be cut and regenerated without harming the plant or the soil beneath it. So they're able to harvest the same plant over and over again instead of cutting down more trees. It's like the hair on your upper lip, Madison. It just keeps growing back no matter how many times you cut it.
Oh, wonderful. You know what? It's certainly preferable over the usual plastic-wrapped TP that comes from our old growth forests. The conventional stuff contributes to deforestation and habitat loss, all for something that we use once, then flush it down the old toilet.
Let's keep it real. I love this stuff. It's literally the strongest, softest toilet paper I have ever used.
Oh my God, Spencer, it really is. And dare I say, it's kind of beautiful. Like, the pattern on it looks luxurious and expensive. And I have a story. So my husband had some friends over a few weekends ago for a UFC fight. I ended up giving everyone a roll as they left to try it because I was literally raving about this toilet paper.
Great stuff. Reel paper is available in easy, hassle-free subscriptions or for one-time purchases on their website.
All orders are conveniently delivered to your door with free shipping and 100% recyclable plastic-free packaging. If you head to realpaper.com/obit and sign up for a subscription using our code OBIT at checkout, you'll automatically get 30% off your first order and free shipping.
They sent us some, and I actually already reordered it.
It's so good.
That's REELPAPER.com/OBIT or enter promo code OBIT to get 30% off your first order plus free shipping. So let's stop flushing our forests and give Reel's tree-free paper a try. 0 trees, 0 plastics, 0 compromises with Reel.
All right, and we are back. I gotta hear about your coffin spinner.
Oh, well, I knew I'd be coming to you from a hotel today. Didn't know where, but knew I would. And I thought, hey, let's stay on theme. So today I will be talking all things hotel death.
Ooh, scary.
Scary. So I actually Googled it while I was just like at my hotel. I was like, what happens when somebody dies in the hotel room? and somebody actually asked that same question on Quora. They said, what is the typical protocol for a hotel to follow when a guest is found dead in their room? And this guy named Mike Holovax answered, and it lists his credentials: 10 years front-facing experience at the front desk, concierge, valet, door supervision, and in 2014 he got his master's in hospitality management.
Oh, so he knows.
He knows his shit. He said, from what I know about the process, the room is immediately sealed and taken off the market. The hotel cannot use the room until authorities have released it back to them, and it still needs to be cleaned and disinfected after that. This process could vary greatly from a strip and replacement of affected linens to a total renovation of the room from the walls out. It is my understanding that this decision is undertaken, no pun intended, based on the time elapsed from death to discovery and the nature of the death. As an example, somebody who ate pills and is found soon after may require less work than if the method of exit was, say, a shotgun, or if many days or weeks elapsed. Before you say that weeks can't elapse, tell that to the guest at my boss's former hotel who called the front desk to report a smell. 4 words stuffed in the mattress. Employees at every level are generally forbidden from dealing with the media via the employment handbook language, and in the case of a death on property, the embargo may extend up to the general manager. Large flags may refer inquiries to corporate brand PR or management company corporate offices. Also, great effort is made in the case of medical emergencies that lead to death to not have the place of death listed as the hotel if at all possible, which is kind of like Disneyland, right?
Yep.
Where like they'll move the body off the property and before they're declared dead. Once the room is sealed off, it is off limits for any reason not having to do with the investigation. It is essentially treated as a crime scene until law enforcement is done doing what they need to do. Once the room is released back to the hotel, that's when the cleanup starts. Again, this varies tremendously. Replacing a bed is vastly different than removing the smell from drywall and carpeting, and materials that come from such a room are treated as hazardous material and must be disposed of as such by people wearing the appropriate gear to do so. Once the room is cleaned from a medical perspective, it goes back in service. Hotels go to great lengths to not release the room numbers, especially in a case of celebrity death. Which you know, because you know when someone finds out someone died in a certain room, they're like...
I automatically think of Bob Saget because there was a TikTok of a guy who's like, this is what the room looked like, and like did a tour of the room.
Oh my God.
I know.
Well, it says, it actually ties in a few things we've talked about before, because it says this prevents dark tourists and whack job fans who want to stay exactly where their hero or heroine died. Room numbers end up becoming public knowledge because of 911 tapes or court papers, but you will never hear of a hotelier discussing a specific room and such topics. The staff at the Beverly Hills Hotel that was working that day more than likely all knew where Whitney Houston died, and the staff at the Hard Rock that day likely all knew where John Entwistle died. But good luck getting them to cough it up. It's patently offensive to hotel staff to press this issue, by the way. In the end, the room goes back on the rack as if nothing happened because the show must go on.
Oh my God.
Interesting to hear from someone's perspective. People die in hotel rooms a lot more than you would think. It goes without saying, like, hotels have unfortunately been a quote-unquote suicide hotspot for centuries. I can only assume that there's a variety of reasonings behind this. My biggest guess personally would be, well, one, so that the person can successfully complete their attempt and just die uninterrupted. But then two, I would also guess that they know that it's going to be a stranger walking into that hotel room to find their body instead of it being a relative or a loved one.
Right.
Still, obviously, traumatizing for whoever has to walk into that. It's something you don't think about. Like when you're checking in, like the nice gal at the front desk, she might have walked in on a body the day before. You never know.
Seriously.
I was reading an article about hotel deaths on cracked.com, and it was talking about like the difference between what a nice hotel and a cheap motel will do. And there are so many stories that I found aside from this article, but about just like dirtbag motel owners who will try and just like pay a carpet cleaner to come and clean the carpet instead of replacing carpets that have bloodstains on them. Like they're just like, oh, just clean it.
Remember I talked about the crime scene cleanup and like there is so much shit that goes into it. That's disgusting.
I know we talked about part of this when we did the crime scene cleanups, and we know that like the families get charged, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I read that in instances where somebody dies in a hotel room, sometimes they'll just charge the card on file, especially at nicer hotels, for the cleanup. But it's horrifying, but I'm also like, fair, right? I mean, you smoke in a hotel room, you're going to get charged. It's called incidentals, babe.
I don't know. I mean, But what if someone just...
I think it's different if somebody dies naturally, maybe, but you are kind of putting it on them. Like if you were renting an apartment, I doubt the apartment would pay for it. They'd probably find a way to charge the family of the person whose apartment it was.
It's all about money.
All about money. Everything is. But that Cracked article also said there's a couple of ways to tell if somebody has died in your hotel room.
Oh my God. Can we? You're in your hotel room right now. Can we do an experiment?
Trust me, knowing all these stats about people's dying in hotel rooms is pointless if you can't tell whether they were actually murdered in your room. They talk about this person that they asked, and it said, look for mismatched carpet or anywhere the carpet seems to have been replaced. Same thing with wallpaper and blinds. Sometimes you get lucky and things are replaced because of feces, but it's usually because somebody bled on it.
I just got the chills.
After reading it, I scoured my room. I was looking at the carpet. I'm like, okay, is any of this not match the other carpet? Didn't find anything. So you're safe to stay at the Viceroy in Chicago.
Perfect.
Last but not least, I want to leave you with this fact that said, sometimes a guy will up and chop off his penis. It says, quote, the good news is that not everybody who stays in a hotel room has died. Sometimes they will, in fact, just hack their dick off because the devil tells them to. According to Cillian, who is the person they were interviewing for this article, somebody slicing their own penis off, whether in hotels or elsewhere, isn't as uncommon as you'd think. A pretty big hotel called about a guy who told the front desk that Satan was telling him to cut his penis off. Eventually, they sent somebody up, and what do you know? He'd actually done it. But he did it perfectly. Unlike one guy that I'd worked with who tried to hack his penis off with car keys.
Oh my God. I try to open packages with car keys sometimes.
You can't even do it.
Can't even do it.
It said at least this guy used a pretty sharp blade, but it was still like somebody filled a squirt gun full of blood and shot it all over the room. Walls everywhere. They also couldn't reattach it, which was weird because he'd done such a good job at cutting it. Unlike the key guy who did get his reattached. And of course, since Satan was involved, Cillian, the hotel guy, realized they'd eventually need a priest because many of the housekeepers were Catholic. They'd absolutely refuse to go on that side of the hotel because of all the Satan thing.
They need to charge Satan. With the cleanup.
Yes. Word had gotten out, so I suggested to management that they call up the Catholic Church and get a priest to come in and bless the room or have an exorcism or whatever and invite all the housekeepers. So that's what they did, and it satisfied everybody. I've had to call priests several other times as well, and it always does the trick.
Oh my gosh. You do not know what's going on.
You never know. I mean, if it's more assurance to pay a little extra for the nicer hotel room, you might want to do it.
I know.
Doesn't mean nobody died there, but it means at least the carpet was hopefully replaced.
Yeah, properly cleaned up.
I've stayed at questionable hotels before. I mean, there's always blood in hotel rooms, and a lot of it too, especially cheaper hotels, it's because a lot of people do drugs in them. They hit the vein or whatever, and it can make little blood splatter on the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
When I'm in a hotel room, automatically what I think of is, I'm like, I wonder how many people have had sex in this bed that I'm sleeping in right now.
Yes.
I don't know why. That's just always my first thought.
No, totally. Or even taking a shower. So many people have been here.
Yeah. You're like, how many people have taken a bath in this bathtub right now?
Ooh.
You never know. You never
know. No.
But, I mean, you get what you pay for. That's all I'll say.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, we're going to take one more quick break, and then we will get into our obituaries and our dumb-ass criminals. We'll be right back.
Geoffs, you have heard all about my ankle stories. I have sprained it, almost had the bone protrude out of it, and just overall have had issues with it, including a huge scar on it from shaving. A few years ago, I was shaving my legs, and I was kind of in a hurry, and it was a very dull, cheap blade. I thought I could get another shave out of it because I hadn't gone to the store to replace it. But I ended up cutting my ankle so bad, blood, skin, everything. It was terrible. Now I have a scar, and now I do not mess around with my shaving. I transitioned over to the razor kit from Athena Club from my old razor, and it has literally solved all of my shaving issues. The razor kit from Athena Club has exceeded literally all of my expectations.
Oh my God, yeah, let me tell you, I got a few new tattoos recently, and I shaved with the razor kit from Athena Club before, and I absolutely loved it. The magic starts with the Athena Club razor blades. They're surrounded by a water-activated serum with shea butter and hyaluronic acid, so you get a silky smooth shave that actually leaves skin soft and hydrated, not stripped dry.
Ugh, nobody wants a stripped dry skin.
No, your balls were always so sticky before, and now
Oh my God, now they just hang and they're slippery. And the blades are spaced out to let hair and shave cream pass through easily. So you don't have to take a ton of passes over your skin to remove hair. Fewer passes means less irritation to your skin, which I love because I'm so fair that I get the little strawberry skin easily, but not anymore. And it cuts down on razor burn and ingrown hairs. The razor kit is only $9 with free shipping and comes with the 2-blade cartridges, magnetic hook for shower storage, which comes in very handy, and your choice of handle color. I personally got the rose color and I love it. It's so cute.
I got the white one, which I love because it matches my bathroom. You can't really see that it's there. And they just have a bunch of colors to choose from chic black and white to neon and pastel. You'll never have to worry about dull blades because you'll get refills sent on your schedule. Just choose how often you need fresh blades, and Athena Club will send them automatically with free shipping. So you always have the best blades for your best shave.
I would suggest getting their Cloud Shave Foam too. It's insanely thick and actually stays on while you shower and shave, so you don't have to constantly reapply. Plus, it leaves your skin nourished and moisturized. It's just the best.
Why deal with razor burn and wasteful disposable razors when you could be getting the best shave of your life with the Athena Club Razor Kit? Get 20% off your first order at athenaclub.com with the promo code OBIT. That's ATHENACLUB.com with promo code OBIT for 20% off.
And we're back. Now, let's have a little nice change of pace and do a nice obituary.
Well, I don't want to, but you sure can. What you got?
I have a sweet obituary. It was a self-written one from a woman. We'll just get into it. It says, when you have recurrent laryngeal cancer that just won't take no for an answer, you have a lot of time to think about death. The good thing is I no longer have to worry about saving for retirement, paying off student loans, or trying not to get skin cancer. One positive outcome from having recurrent cancer was that it taught me to let go of the insignificant things and to just enjoy the people and places. After 3 recurrences, my body finally had enough and I passed away on Sunday, September 22nd, 2019 at the Cleveland Clinic. I was born on May 21st, 1987 in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Conway and attended Freedom Area High School, class of 2005. I earned a bachelor's in history and political science from the University of Pittsburgh, class of 2009, where I also became a member of Kappa Delta sorority. I completed my teaching certificate and Master of Education degree. After I graduated high school, my family moved to Erie. While I spent a few years teaching in Lancaster County, I returned to Erie to plant my roots and became a gifted support teacher at McDowell Intermediate High School. In my spare time, I enjoyed reading, cuddling with my cats, wine tasting, relaxing on my dad's boat, watching movies, golfing, decorating my house, watching football, go Steelers, appreciating a good sunset, and watching TV shows like Grey's Anatomy, The Original Will and Grace, and Friends. While in college, I spent a semester abroad in London and was able to travel to Paris, France, Poland. It had been a goal of mine to visit Auschwitz for many years, Milan, Venice, Florence, Rome, and Italy. Some of my favorite family vacations include experiencing the awe of the Grand Canyon and enjoying the sun, sand, and family time in the Outer Banks. After I found out my cancer was back for the 4th time, I went to Mexico and saw Chichen Itza. I am extremely grateful for the life that I live. I was fortunate to have a loving family, supportive friends, a stable and meaningful job, and a house to call my own. My wish for you is to stop letting insignificant situations stress you out. Do what is important to you. Relax and enjoy the company of those around you. What do you value in your life? In the end, that's what matters. I am survived by my wonderful parents, my sister, my family dog, my cats, my maternal grandmother, and many aunts, uncles, cousins, and many friends. I was preceded in death by my paternal grandparents, my maternal grandfather, my childhood cat of 18 years, our beloved family dog of 17 years, and my cat, Leo. Since I think viewings are too sad for everyone, I request that my family host a celebration of my life.
Sweet.
Sweet.
And a good reminder to not let the little things get to you and just do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. Enjoy the little things. Just waking up, that cup of coffee, that sunset. All those things make life worth living.
It really does make you think of things, because I wavered back and forth even this week at just like, oh, should I have just gone home or should I have stayed long? Or like, what do I do? I feel like it's such a good reminder always, because we talk about death and we read so many obituaries, to be like, oh no, we should all be like out there living our best lives. You never know.
Totally. I agree.
You never know. Okay, my obituary for this week, I'm sticking with the Chicago theme, and I am talking about a notorious mobster, Babyface Nelson.
Ooh.
So this came out after he died. It says, Babyface Nelson was born Lester J. Gillis on December 6, 1908. The Chicago native would go on to become one of the greatest bank robbers of the 1930s and public enemy #1 by the end of his lifetime. Quite the achievement. It's said that Nelson's nickname came from his youthful appearance and small stature, measuring at only 5 feet 4 inches and weighing in at about 133 pounds. Little guy. Nelson started leading a life of crime from an early age. By 13, he had joined a youth gang and participated in auto theft and bank robberies. In 1922, Nelson was caught and committed to a boys' home. Soon after his release for the first offense, he found himself back in the same place for similar charges. Nelson found himself in and out of jail throughout his life, and in February of 1932, he successfully escaped prison guards during a transfer from 2 Illinois state prisons. The infamous criminal headed west to Reno, but eventually made his way to California. Once there, he linked up with John Paul Chase, the leader of a liquor smuggling operation. The two worked together on several criminal activities. Nelson eventually made his way back to the Midwest and met several other notorious criminals like Homer Van Meter and John Dillinger. In April of 1934, Nelson, John Paul Chase, and his wife, Helen Wazenak, officially joined the Dillinger Gang. The FBI attempted to track down Nelson and the Dillinger Gang on a vacation to the Little Bohemia Lodge in northern Wisconsin. The FBI was unsuccessful in capturing the criminals. Instead, the incident resulted in the death of 3 men and their escape. Rewards were offered for Nelson's capture or information leading to his whereabouts. Several other armed robberies soon unfolded, and many resulted in the death of several police officers. On July 22, 1934, Dillinger is believed to have been shot and killed, and the following day, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover declared Babyface Nelson as public enemy #1. Following Dillinger's death, Nelson and Chase made numerous trips across the continental U.S. On November 27th of 1934, the pair stole a car and drove it to Wisconsin. 2 special agents, Thomas McDade and William Ryan, then spotted the stolen vehicle in Barrington, Illinois. Inspector Samuel Crowley and Special Agent Herman Edward Hollis proceeded to engage in an armed car chase down U.S. Highway 12 in an attempt to finally stop Nelson. Nelson was critically injured as a result of the gunfight, and later that evening he passed due to his injuries.
Wow, what a life.
A little mobster tale for ya.
Oh my God, you're gonna get whacked.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk about it too loudly here.
Who knows? He might have died in that room.
Oh my God, this very room. Well, God, I think that about brings us to our final segment of the evening. It's time for some dumb
Ask.
Criminals. Let's do it. Who you got for me this week?
Oh my God, Spencer. Let's talk about Miss Jessica Boomershine.
I'm hooked by the name already.
Jessica Boomershine. So on January 15th of 2020, Jessica and her buddy, Billy Joe, broke into an 85-year-old man's home in Miamisburg and took his firearm. That's not all they did. I found like the official press release from Montgomery County, Ohio, and in it says, quote, "After firing a round in the bedroom of the victim, the pair kidnapped the victim and took the victim's vehicle. The elderly victim was assaulted and at gunpoint was forced to give up his ATM PIN."
Oh no.
I know. The defendants drove to an ATM and took funds from the victim's account. Eventually, the defendants bound the victim and put him inside the trunk of his car, which was abandoned at the Rumpke Waste Facility on East Monument Avenue in Dayton. The victim was able to locate and pull the emergency release. The victim then entered the Rumpke facility, where he was later discovered by employees. The victim was able to identify the defendant as being someone he had recently met at a local casino. Detectives eventually located the defendants and took them into custody. All right, so this is where it gets insane. So I don't know about Billy. He's not involved in this anymore. He was sentenced to like 50 years in jail though for this. But Jessica, so on January 21st of 2020, Miss Boomershine was in a holding area in jail because she was waiting to be transported to court. She decided that this was it. This was the moment to make her great escape. So the ceiling above her was one of those ceilings that you can like push through, like those little squares. So she stood on a chair and was able to hoist herself up into the ceiling, and nobody noticed until, and there's video footage that I will post, you see a bunch of like shrapnel fall from the ceiling, and like cops run over and they're like, "What's going on?" And then you see her legs and her pants, her ass is fully out because her jeans had like fallen down, and the cops try to get her and she just like body slams onto a trash can.
Oh yeah.
I will post the video. I was dying. She looked like a fucking idiot. And then she was sentenced to 25 to 30 years in jail.
Oh my God.
You fucking dumbass. You think you're gonna escape?
Oh, well, hey, Babyface did.
And that other one, that Vicky Casey or whatever.
God.
But not through the ceiling.
Never take the ceiling.
Never take the ceiling.
Whenever I think of a jail escape, I also think of El Chapo.
Mm-hmm.
When he was just like, bye.
Bye. I have underground tunnels.
I'm out of here. Okay, mine was sent in by a Geoff, Lacey. She was the first who sent it in. Many people have sent us this. It happened, well, this article is from May 17th from KCTV. Wichita, Kansas. Police are looking for, get this, public enemy number 2 after a rather gross incident. The Wichita Police Department said that a woman defecated in the middle of a beauty supply store aisle in the 2200 block of East 21st Street on May 10th.
Oh my God.
A tweet from the department stated the defecation was significant enough to destroy 8 wigs.
What?
The business would like to know who the perpetrator is so they can pursue criminal charges, the police department stated. Anyone with information has been asked to call detectives.
Oh my God, those poor wigs are just at work. Like,
oh my God, do you think they had bangs?
I don't know. They probably did after that.
I'm like, how vile was your defecation that it ruined 8 wigs?
Like from afar.
She's shooting cannons.
Oh my God, that is terrible.
Terrible and horrible. Oh my God, I almost forgot. We have a live show coming August 4th in Irvine. You can get the ticket. It's going to be in the information under today's episode or on our socials. You can follow us online on Instagram and Twitter at obituarypod. Write to us, but don't sign up for dating profiles. obitpod@gmail.com. P.O. Box.
P.O. Box.
We'll be back to opening next week. We saw your responses that you're like, yes, please keep opening them. So we will. If you have something you want to share with us, you can send it on over to Spencer Henry and Madison Reyes, P.O. Box 18149, Long Beach, California 90807.
Yes, baby.
Did I get it?
I think you got it.
Oh my God. Get it. Got it. Good. I gotta go. I gotta go hit the town.
Hit the town, baby. The Windy City is calling you.
Oh, it is calling me, and I want to get out of this hotel room because who knows what the fuck happened here. We'll see you next week with some more coffin spinners,
obituaries,
and dumb
ass criminals.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.